This is Indraprastha channel of Akashvani Daily. Department of Science and Technology DST was established in May 1971 with the objective of promoting new areas of science and technology and to play the role of a nodal department for organizing, coordinating and promoting science and technology activities in the country. The department has major responsibilities for specific projects and programs. We now bring to you an interview with Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary DST, Department of Science and Technology. Interviewer is Kaushik Roy.
We have with us Dr. Abhay Karandikar, the Secretary, Department of Science and Technology. So, thank you so very much for sparing your valuable time and talking to us. We had this thematic hubs and technical groups set up under the National Quantum Mission, and also the DST launched the Bharat Gen, an initiative for large language models. So, could you throw some light on that?
So, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me today. We launched 4 thematic hubs under National Quantum Mission. Now, these hubs are in 4 verticals of quantum technologies. One hub will work in quantum computing, another hub will work in quantum communication, third hub will work in quantum sensing, and fourth hub will work in quantum materials and devices. So, quantum computing hub will be established at Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. Quantum communication hub will be established at Indian Institute of Technology, IIT Madras, in association with CDOT, and quantum sensing hub will be established at IIT Bombay, and quantum materials and devices hub will be established at IIT Delhi. But under each hub there are several technical groups are there, 3 or 4 technical groups. So in total, in all the 4 hubs there are 14 technical groups, and each technical group has multiple institutions. So this is like a tree. There is a 4 hubs, then in each hub there are groups, and in each groups there are faculty members and scientists and researchers from multiple institutions. So if you look at total 43 institutions across the country will be involved in this hub, and the selection process went through a very rigorous exercise. So we had given the call for proposals for the technical group in February-March time frame, and we received 384 proposals. From 384 proposals, we have chosen 14 technical groups.
Right.
From 384 to 14. And we announced the winners or the groups which were selected.
Right, sir. It's indeed very noteworthy. The Anusandhan National Research Fund has been set up with research support corpus of 50,000 crore rupees. So, how do you look at this? And also, Anusandhan is something that the government is focusing on. I remember the Honorable Prime Minister having added to Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan, Jai Vigyan, Jai Anusandhan. So, this is also a noteworthy thing. And how do you think that the researchers will be able to utilize these funds?
So, let me just tell you that Anusandhan National Research Foundation is one of the very important initiatives of government to drive the research and development programs in the country in both academic institutions and research institutions. The importance of this foundation also stems from the fact that the governing board of the foundation is chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister directly. So earlier we used to have Science and Engineering Research Board. Now that is dissolved with the foundation of the ANRF. But Science and Engineering Research Board used to be chaired by the Secretary DST. Now ANRF is governing board is chaired by the Honorable Prime Minister. Now we just held the first meeting of the governing board last month on 10th of September, and we had promised that within 100 days of the government we will operationalize the ANRF. So we have now operationalized. We have approved several programs to improve the research infrastructures in the universities and state universities and central universities and colleges. We have approved programs to start some mission mode programs in some key sectors of of that technology. We have also approved programs to help the early career researchers. So all these programs have been approved, and we will be rolling out these programs one by one in the coming months. And I am very confident that the entire scientific community will greatly benefit. One more aspect of this ANRF, which the entire scientific community is looking for, is called ease of doing research.
Yes.
Our government has focused in the last 10 decades on ease of doing business and so ease of living. Now, in this ANRF, we will be focusing on ease of doing
research,
science and research, so that researcher's life is made simple in terms of processes and procedures, and researchers spend their time on doing research and giving impactful outcomes rather than on just fulfilling the processes and procedures.
Right, sir.
So I think this will be
absolutely
one big change ANRF.
Yes, it could be a game changer in the years to come. Generation AI, for Gen AI, which we call for Bharat, development of large language models, and this IIT Bombay is doing under the National Mission on Interdisciplinary Cyber Physical Systems. Last week only the Honorable Prime Minister attended the Quad Summit, and AI is something which is the next big thing, one may say, in the 21st century. So how will Gen AI for Bharat be helpful for large language models?
So, as you know, that AI is becoming an integral part
Absolutely.
of all sectors, whether it is banking or finance or education or entertainment or media or whatever. And with generative AI, that is the Chat GPT, it has really disrupted the entire innovation ecosystem. Now, behind the Chat GPT, there is a foundational large language model. Now, what has happened is that these AI tools use the large language models which are not necessarily helpful when it comes to Indian languages and in the context of Indian data sets which is available in local languages. So, in order to make that generative AI tool effective, ChatGPT, you need a foundational large language model for Indian languages. And you will agree with me that no one can work for Indian languages other than we Indians ourselves.
Absolutely.
So, therefore, this is a major initiative for developing a foundational large language model which will exploit the data sets which is generated in the Indian languages, and thereby we can develop an AI tools which will be helpful in Indian context and which will be helpful to solve our problems in our context. So, this is extremely important project to make us, I should say AI power, because once we have the foundational LLM on the Indian data sets in Indian languages, then I think we have an opportunity to bring that disruption.
Right. Sir, women-led development and empowerment vision in scientific research and innovation is also a very important part of the Department of Science and Technology. And as the government has always said that today women-led development is something which we can see everywhere, especially in the field of science and technology. And also your department is doing many things to help women pioneers in research and other things. So what is your take on that?
First of all, let me just tell you that this is definitely one important goal, that in order to become a leader in science and technology, we have to increase the participation of women, not just in terms of doing PhD and postdoctoral fellowships, but also their continued involvement in their professional R&D careers.
Right, sir.
Because what has happened in India, what we have seen is that while the number of women who are enrolled in the graduate level programs in PhD or who are doing research studies is quite good with respect to the ratio of the male and female. But what happens after they have done PhD or postdoctoral fellowships, even after they join their job as a scientist or something, then there are leakages. Many of them do not continue because of the family reasons.
Okay.
They do not continue their R&D professions or scientists. Maybe they got married and then they have children, and then there are these social personal problems. Now, to bring back these very talented, capable women scientists back into this, DST has a program where we can bring back these women scientists back into the workforce under our WISE Kiran program, that is Women in Science and Engineering. We have many such programs for retaining the women in science and technology, for enhancing their participations, for bringing back the women who had a career break to start their career again. So there are many programs are there. We are giving PhD fellowships, postdoctoral fellowship programs, women scientist schemes. So the Department of Science and Technology has a great emphasis on improving this. We are also, there are, women only institutions and universities in our country. So we are also helping such universities improve their R&D infrastructure. And then there is Vigyan Jyoti program we have, which we do it at the school level. For improving, their interests towards science in the schools. So I think there are multiple programs that we have run, and of course, lot needs to be done more. And I am confident that in the coming years, the government's focus on the women-led development, particularly in the science and technology domain, it will have a great impact in the coming years.
Absolutely, sir. Can you also please share with our listeners the DST's contribution in startups, entrepreneurship, and what kind of coordination you have with the Department of Space, Infrastructure, Environment, etc.?
See, DST has been a pioneer in supporting the startups. In fact, we are supporting more than 150 incubators across universities, IITs, academic institutions in the country. When Honorable Prime Minister has given the clarion call of Startup India in 2016, we are now completing 8 years of that, DST had started the program called Nidhi. And Nidhi has many components: Nidhi Prayas, Nidhi Seed Support Scheme, Nidhi Entrepreneurship in Residence. So under the Nidhi scheme, we supported many programs of giving seed support to the startups, creating inclusive technology business incubators, also entrepreneurship in residence. And in the last 8 years, I think we have not only supported the startups and entrepreneurs, but more importantly, the DST's role has been in nurturing the deep tech startups. So if you know that India has emerged as the third largest startup ecosystem in the country, there are 1,25,000 startups. Out of that, however, the number of deep tech startups may be 8 to 10,000. And I can confidently say that all the deep tech startups have been directly or indirectly supported by DST in some way or the other. Either, through our incubator or through our various mission programs like cyber physical system mission programs, etc. In the coming years now, there is a lot of emphasis on the deep tech because the deep tech startups can really, make us strong in technology innovation. So we have supported startups in the space sectors, because you talked about the collaborations with space. We are also collaborating with other ministries like Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology also. So as our Honorable Prime Minister has said, we are taking the whole of government approach in supporting this entire deep tech startup ecosystem.
Right. So in conclusion, could you also share with us about the international cooperation in research and innovation you have with international organizations?
So in the Department of Science and Technology, in international cooperation, we have two approaches. One is science diplomacy and, the diplomacy for science. So we do both. And we have many bilateral and multilateral cooperations. We have with many countries the bilateral R&D calls, like we have with Germany, France, US, Israel, and these calls are, joint R&D between academic institutions of India and the other countries. So one level of participation is this. In fact, with Germany, this year we are celebrating 50 years of our science and technology cooperation.
Oh, that's wonderful, sir.
In fact, in this month, in October 24th and 25th, the German Chancellor will be visiting.
Yes.
And
on a bilateral, he'll be visiting India on a bilateral.
And we will be celebrating the Golden Jubilee of the the 50 years of science and technology cooperation with the Germany.
That's wonderful, sir.
So I think we are now emphasizing a lot on international cooperation because there is one significant change that has happened in India in the recent years, that we have emerged as a very strong nation in technology and science in many areas.
Absolutely, sir.
And therefore now our international cooperations at a level where the developed nations are also, they can gain from cooperating with us, and we can also gain by working together with them. Because to address certain global challenges like climate change, like food and water resource constraint or scarcity, or like improving the well-being, I think there is a lot we can collaborate, and there is a lot which our international partners can gain from us.
We are celebrating the Swachhata Pakhwada, and on Gandhiji's birthday, 2nd October, there's going to be celebrations all across the world. And this Swachhata Abhiyan or Swachhata campaign, as we know, cleanliness drive, has become a Jan Andolan, a mass movement. So can you tell what the DST is doing in this area?
So let me just, in the Department of Science and Technology, we have a focus on funding some research in the area of sustainable technologies.
Right.
In fact, we have a division which is called Clean Energy and Sustainable Technologies, and there we are focusing on various aspects of whether it is related to solid waste management or waste to wealth, or waste to energy programs, or whether they are related to even water treatments and so on. So many of these programs we have funded through our sustainable technology programs, sustainable technology divisions in different institutions. There are many startups also which are working in these areas, which have been supported through DST funded incubators. So we are making our efforts in terms of technology interventions in solving the overall problem of cleanliness and waste management.
Absolutely, absolutely. And sir, what is of, it's noteworthy that a lot of youngsters now choose STEM, that is science, technology, engineering and mathematics. This is one of the area. And what would you say to the youth of India to come forward in great numbers and join this movement called STEM?
So, in today's world, science and technology and innovation touches almost all sectors of economy.
Absolutely.
Whether it is agriculture or health or transportation or environment, and it is becoming now increasingly important, and even medical sciences and even health, even doctors have to be aware of the technology and engineering. So it is now increasingly becoming important for us to either become a science or technology expert or at least become aware. So all of us should be some student of science and technology, and there is an exciting opportunity. So I will definitely urge all our youngsters to explore STEM as a career option. There are a lot of opportunities. Also, as I mentioned earlier, that we have emerged as a large startup ecosystem. There is a lot of opportunity for our youth to have, their own enterprise, their own startups and do innovative.
Right.
So our youth today can actually need not seek jobs. They can become really the job givers.
Right.
And today, this opportunity, all the advancements that are happening in technology is offering an opportunity to our youth to become job givers rather than the job seekers.
Right, sir. And on that very positive note, sir, we thank you for sparing your valuable time and sharing so much valuable information about what the Department of Science and Technology does. Thank you, sir. Thank you indeed. Namaskar.
You were listening to an interview with Professor Abhay Karandikar, Secretary, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. Interview was Kaushik Roy. Voiced by Nitish Arora, this was a presentation of Dilip Jha. This broadcast came to you from the Indraprastha channel of Akashvani, Delhi.